connecting with my partner, dancing as one unit, enjoying the music, smiling to each other, smiling to the audience, inviting the audience to participate if the opportunity arises. That, for me, makes performing the quadrille a wonderful experience every time. Grace is very important in the quadrille. The quadrille is not a dance that is done with vulgarity. It is a graceful dance. And that's why we make a distinction between the quadrille and the other traditional dances of St. Lucia, because there are many others. I'm Andrew Scott, born in St. Lucia, learned how to dance the quadrille from 1978 when I was at secondary school. I was actively involved in our school dance troupe. At the time, it was not common to see young people dancing the quadrille, as everyone associated that traditional dance with the older generation. So 5 years later, in 1983, I became a founder member of a group called Les Danseurs Traditionnels de St Lucian, which means the traditional dancers of St. Lucia. And our main aim and objective was to promote the traditional dances around the island. And one of the strategies that we used was a quadrille competition among all secondary schools. Well, I grew up on the island of St. Lucia, and in those days, the influence of television was not that strong. And so traditional families had to create their own form of entertainment. So for example, my father would play the guitar and he would tell stories in the evening time. And whenever it was a time of celebration, whenever we had any parties at home, the traditional dances would actually be performed by my father and his friends. So they would come together. My father played the guitar, and his friends played other instruments like the drum, and participants at the party would dance and enjoy themselves. There was no need for any stereo system or anything like that. And I grew up back then in the late 60s, early 70s, and that was, for me, what a party was all about. And by the time I went into secondary school, by 1978, I realized that there was a demand for the culture that we were beginning to lose. There was a demand for it to be brought back to the forefront of St. Lucian cultural heritage. When I left secondary school, I became part of a group known as Les Danseurs Traditionnels de St Lucian. That means the traditional dancers of St. Lucia. And our primary objective was to promote the St. Lucian Quadrille, to make it become an acceptable dance all over the island. The benefit of that was, over time, we got a generation in St. Lucia of young people who accepted the quadrille as something everyone should know how to do. And now the quadrille has become so popular. If you attend a party and some quadrille music is playing among the other varieties of music that we play, if the quadrille is playing and you cannot dance it, it sort of makes you look as if you are really missing out on something, that your social education is lacking. You are absolutely missing out on some part of your social life. And when I was at Teachers College in St. Lucia, I was expected to write a thesis. And so I was one of the first people I am aware of in St. Lucia who wrote a thesis on developing curriculum material for the teaching and learning of the quadrille in schools in St. Lucia. And I'm happy to say that this piece of work is available. It is on display at Sir Arthur Lewis Community College, which is our main community college in Castries, St. Lucia. 12 years ago, I think there was a quadrille group, but because of how the St. Lucian population is distributed around London, I had to go in search of the quadrille. It was not ever present. I had to find it wherever it was. Okay. And after some searching, I eventually found a St. Lucian group performing the quadrille, and I felt very much at home because the quadrille they were doing was pretty close to the quadrille that I was deeply involved in when I was back in St. Lucia.